Guys, it's finally here. We're getting that information. The Annihilus Saga's epic conclusion. So far, we haven't really seen Annihilus. We were told he was going to reach out and touch us. And we're going to find out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's going to be reaching out and touching people. It's not going to be a pleasant experience if you don't have him. The dude, he looks like he's unbeatable. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. See, like anybody who's a fan of the comics knows that Annihilus doesn't walk around like this with his arms out, right? He's scared of being hurt. He's scared of being damaged. But in this Annihilus, he's a little bit different. He's a little bit different than Marvel Strike Force. He's letting you know, yeah, man, I've been in the gym and I got something for you. Woo! Let's go ahead and check this out. Greetings, Commander. We're starting off with Dark Dimension 9. He's invaded our dimension and threatened Nexus Earth. Now it's time to take the fight to Annihilus and defeat him once and for all in Dark Dimension 9. Those who conquer this dimension will earn themselves an ally unlike any other Annihilus himself. Here's a rundown of what is in this Dark Dimension blog. So here's the cliff notes. We're going to see Annihilus kit. It's crazy. It's insane. He's your own personal mini boss. You'll need that new Gear 21 for Dark Dimension 9. Play the Annihilus Saga leading up to Dark Dimension 9. Power up your chapter legends and experience new stories. That has me intrigued. Play the Annihilus Saga that's going to lead up to Dark Dimension. So they said it was going to be a hybrid, so it looks like we're having both. There's a Saga portion and a Dark Dimension portion. Curious to see how that's going to play out. Unlocking Annihilus gains access to the Annihilus Saga epilogue. So after you beat him, there's more. After you beat him, there's more. Race to Annihilus gives the top 100 players diamonds. So big dogs out there, do you like that? Check out the Dark Dimension 9 planner on the website to plan your squads. All right. Okay, so I think that's up and running. I don't know. I haven't checked and see. It's going to be a minute before I get Annihilus. You'll have to see. Annihilus does not conquer. He consumes. And if you can manage to defeat Dark Dimension 9, you'll recruit this cosmic power to your roster. Personal mini boss. Annihilus won't just be the most powerful player character in Marvel Strike Force. They are not kidding when they say that. This dude is legit. It says he'll be your own personal mini boss. They're not playing around. This guy's ridiculous. A plug and play behemoth. Annihilus can slot into any modern team with devastating results thanks to the Cosmic Control Rod, a legion of disposable minions, and several new mechanics. The Cosmic Control Rod bend the battlefield to your will. A major source of Annihilus's power, the Cosmic Control Rod, is a special effect that Annihilus gains only on spawn. So if you can pry it away from him, you'll have a chance at defeating him. Until then, the Cosmic Control Rod grants him the following. So he has an artifact. It's Cosmic Control Rod. It is the source of Annihilus' power in the comics. Without it, he's just a regular dude. So is this an artifact that somehow we get a hold of? It talks about removing it, right? What's going on? What does it do? On enemy turn, attack that character with this character's basic negative zone power at the basic level 7. So right off the bat, did you see the ridiculousness? On enemy turn. So I take a turn when I'm fighting against him. I take a turn and he's going to attack me. Any of my characters, if I take a turn, he's going to attack me with his basic. Attacks that would defeat Annihilus instead reduce his health to 1, cause him to reduce the duration of all negative effects on himself to 0, heal himself for 100% of his max health, and then you will clear the Cosmic Control Rod. So you have to beat him twice. You got to beat him twice, right? He's not reviving. You can't be like, well, I'm going to use so-and-so. So-and-so doesn't allow you to revive. He's not reviving. You didn't kill him. You reduced his health to 1. He's going to clear all the negative effects and then heal right back up to 100%. And you got to get him again. This dude's ridiculous. He prevents enemies from applying battlefield effects to the allied side, right? He stops Odin and Franklin from doing what they do. He shields Annihilus, it shields Annihilus from gaining exhausted, exposed, darkness, stun, and bleed. When he has the Cosmic Control Rod active, you can't do any of that stuff. So there's no cheesy bleed downs. You can't stun him and stop him from doing what he's doing. You can't put darkness on him and make him attack other people. No exposed. You can't reduce his stats that way. Or no exhausted, no exposed. Very interesting. Grants him 100% drain. So every attack is 100% drain. We thought that the Maestro was a problem because he could get 90%. This dude's got 100. And it takes us back to old school Thanos. If you guys remember that, we just talked about that. Old school Thanos, 100% drain. Guys who were around during that time, he was a problem. He was a problem. This dude, 100% drain on all of the attacks. And he's going to attack you every time you take a turn. It's going to be a problem. Any damage dealt by Annihilus, bro, any damage dealt by Annihilus reduces the max health of his target by the same amount. My guy. I don't know, man. This is insanity. He's immune to health percentage attacks. Well, I'll just punch him out with Apocalypse. No, you won't. It says he's immune. I wonder how that works. Like, does he just take 0 damage? You know what I'm saying? Does he just take 0 damage if you were to hit him with Apocalypse or the Phoenix or something like that? Man, bro. Bring it on. This is crazy. A legion of insectoids unleash a minion army. Annihilus's basic ability summons 4 Insectoid devourer minions. On their turn, they gain taunt to redirect enemy attacks. Both their basic and special clear all barrier on their target before dealing damage and transferring negative effects from the attacker, that's them, the Insectoid, to the target. While their special also grants Annihilus speed bar, making them a deadly horde. Wow. More speed for a dude who's already a beast. Special mechanics. Sustain, speed, mind control. Annihilus's, woo. All right, we got a big word here. Annihilus introduces several key new mechanics to battles. All right, we got it. Annihilus introduces several key new mechanics to battles that'll severely tip the battlefield in his favor. Team Drain. New mechanic. Team Drain. Allows the drain from Annihilus attacks to heal himself and his allies. I'm sorry, I'm giggling. You can't just beat him if you are beating up the rest of the team. He's just healing them up when he attacks. And he's going to attack when you take a turn. It's nutty. Psychic shutdown. When Annihilus has his Cosmic Control Rod, enemies cannot mind control others. Speed bar control. Annihilus and his Insectoid devourers can't have their speed bar fill prevented by other characters' passive abilities. You can't stop it, man. Right? So you think about Carnage back in the day, how even right now, right? If you're still using them on the Hive Mind, you knock people down into the red, speed bar starts going up and they just get to keep taking turns. Okay, these devourers are going to start contributing to that. And you can't, once it gets out of control, you can't stop it, man. So you got to control it the old-fashioned way. So now we're getting into the actual, right? That was just a synopsis. So if you're done, if you had enough, I appreciate you for coming by. But now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the actual kit, man. Let's get after it. Annihilus, speed 128. That ain't bad, man. That ain't bad. So I think we were looking, what's your name? Eclipse, I think is 128. So 128 is pretty good. It's not the fastest, but it's pretty good, right? He might not go first on the team. He might first or second, depending on who you got. It ain't bad. Traits: villain, cosmic, tech, blaster, mythic, galactic, council. All right, so that villain cosmic, again, we were just talking about the Shadow Conclave, and there's a lot of villain cosmic callouts there. Right away, he might have another spot he could go and cause some problems. Isolate, counterattacks, and assists. Okay, so his counters and isolate attacks. He's going to attack the primary target for damage, 17% of his piercing. Distribute drain gained from this attack to 5 random allies or self. It doesn't say and self, it says or self. So it's possible that he won't heal himself. Am I getting that correct? Right? It's 5 people. And if he doesn't count himself as one of the 5 randoms, maybe he doesn't get healed. This attack deals double damage to enemies with defense up, meaning you're taking this damage. And if characters have any negative effects, 100% crit chance. Wow. On the counter attack, 100% crit chance. You will take this damage if you got defense up. Man. Outstanding. Let's keep it going. Basic, negative zone, power. Clear all barrier on primary target. Attack primary target for damage. Distribute drain gained from this attack to 5 random allies or self. So this is a standard basic. We were just looking at the ISO attack. This attack deals double damage to enemies with defense up. If the character has negative effects, 100% crit chance. Fill speed bar by 15%. If he uses his basic normally, fill speed bar by 15%. If this character has the cosmic control rod, when he uses his basic, if he has the control rod, summon 4 Insectoid devourer allies, reduce the number summoned for each non-minion ally that the character has down to a minimum of 1. So it's Annihilus, and he's going to have 4 more people on the team, right? So there's 5 people total. Annihilus, and there's 4 more people on the team, right? These minions are essentially going to take the place of guys that you have, if I'm understanding it correctly, guys that you have that have been knocked out. So one of them's always going to pop up. He's always going to have 1. If you eliminate a character, that allows him to have 2, if I'm understanding it correctly. Another character, right? Not another minion, but another main character. You eliminate another one, that allows him to have 3, up to a total of 4. So it just could be him, and he can just be calling 4 of these guys in at a time. At some point, right? That's definitely going to get out of hand if we allow that to happen. Transfer all your negative effects, including trauma. Well, I just stunned. He can't be stunned. I'll just put a trauma on him and he can't clear it. Well, transfer all negative effects, including trauma, from this character to a random Insectoid devourer ally. And as we read earlier, when those guys attack you, they're going to give you the negative effect. It's pretty ridiculous. The attack cannot be counterattacked, right? So sometimes that's how we would get through these things. You got multiple guys hitting you, you just counter them. It's not happening. It's not happening. His special. Wow, let's look at the artwork there real quick. Is he just blowing up the planet or something, man? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Special, decimate and eradicate. Energy cost 5 of 5. Clear all barrier on all enemies. Attack all enemies for damage. Distribute drain gained from this attack to 5 random allies or self. He's healing up again. Reduce. This is out the box. 5 of 5. So he's leading off right here. This is happening first. Attack everybody for damage. He's going to do the drain. If you were able to get an alpha strike in, he's healing right back up. Reduce the duration of safeguard by 2 on each target, with either defense up or speed up. Interesting choices there. So we can keep our safeguard if we don't have a defense up or a speed up, so we can protect our heals, right? We can protect our healing. What else? Let me know in the comments. What other positive effects do we want to hold on to? We can protect our regens, but if we got defense up or speed up, all that's going away. Flip all positive effects on all enemies. So it's attack all, he's flipping it everywhere. Generate 5 ultimate ability for self, and the attack cannot be blocked. 5 is a lot of energy. 5 is a lot of energy. Why would he need to generate 5? Because of the ultimate, where you see he's doing the energy wave, Kamehameha, at the planet, like Frieza, is going to try to destroy the world. Ultimate annihilation wave, energy cost 3 of 8. But guess what? If you add 5 plus 3, I got 5 energy. He's ready to do this on his next turn. This is happening right away. Clear right after he does his special, his next turn, he's doing this. Clear barrier on all enemies. Reduce the count of death proof on all enemies to 0. It's just automatic taking away the death proof, because if you die, he wants you to feel this. Attack all enemies for 600% damage. Distribute drain from this attack to 5 random allies. This attack deals double damage. You will take this damage to enemies with defense up, and an additional 300% damage to enemies below 50% max health. Oh my goodness. This is a KO attack. His second turn, he's probably wiping somebody from the board. And if you already have somebody who's taken some damage, it's almost guaranteed that that person's going down. Good night. Enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived. This attack cannot be blocked or dodged. You are taking this damage. Annihilus says you are taking this damage. Man, this is ridiculous, bro. Passive, nihilistic tyrant. So he just thinks that he's trying to destroy everything, man. If you don't know Annihilus, right, he's a nihilist. If you don't know his background, right, he's like a locust, right? He's an insect. He wants to just devour everything, right? He's like a giant grasshopper, a locust. He just wants to destroy everything. He's afraid of being injured. That's kind of his motivation. So his answer to it is to destroy it all, right? Thanos was talking about destroying half the universe. Annihilus wants to destroy it all so that there's only him. He's ridiculous. On spawn, he gains the cosmic control rod. This action occurs only once per crucible or war. Now that's a very interesting statement right there. It doesn't say, for example, arena. He's gonna be potent in Crucible War, and I'm sure he'll be potent in arena too. But there's some type of a caveat there. We'll have to see how it plays out. It probably can keep happening. Who knows? In arena. While this character has the control rod, on enemy turn, attack that character with this character's basic, that negative zone power, at the basic level 7. Attacks that would defeat this character, Annihilus, instead reduce his health to 1. So he's got 10 hit points left. I drop an ultimate on him to try to get him out of there. I use Old Man Logan or something like that. Can't be revived. It doesn't matter because it just reduces health to 1 and his health bar stops going down. It stops at 1. Reduce the duration of all negative effects on him, on Annihilus, to 0. So any of your control effects, if you were able to land some, they're gone. Heal for 100%. He's back up. And then he will clear Cosmic Control Rod. So this won't happen repeatedly. But you're going to have to deal with them twice. That's no doubt. You got to deal with them twice. There is no way around that. Right? You think about Professor X in Arena. One of the things that made him so devastating is people were pairing him with Dormammu. Dormammu wasn't the issue. It was the fact that if you eliminate Professor X, he would revive. And then, right, he still gets to use his... You probably can't strike him down twice before he gets to use his special and his ultimate, right? So that's what made that pairing so devastating. Here, they're just building it into the character. They're just building it right into the character. That you got to get him twice. That's crazy. All right. Enemies cannot apply battlefield effects to the allied side. Enemies cannot mind control. Reduce passive assist chance of all enemies by 100%. So we can't just build a team of spam assist characters to try to whittle them down. Enemies cannot gain charged. Wow, bro, chargeable enemies or charge mechanics in Marvel Strike Force right now give people a lot of different advantages. And without the charges, they're just dudes, right? There's a lot of power in those charge mechanics. And without them, they're just dudes. Interesting. You got to fight this guy straight up, and it's not going to happen. We're going to have to wait until new characters come out. You know what I'm saying? This dude basically draws a line in the sand. Before me and after me kind of thing. That's what it is. We're going to have to wait for new characters to deal with this guy. This character cannot gain exhausted. He cannot be exposed, darkness, stun, bleed, or death proof. Okay. That's reasonable that he can't get a death proof. Continued. We got more. The passive is not done. There's more. On kill, until the end of this character's turn, enemies cannot reduce the max health of any target. On kill. So Annihilus. I should have asked for clarification. So Annihilus smokes somebody, or somebody gets smoked. I don't know. Until the end of Annihilus's turn, your opponents, the enemies, cannot reduce the max health of any target. So I'm assuming that to mean if you get a KO, guys like Professor X, Mephisto, if they use one of their abilities, it will not trigger the max health reduction. That's nuts. Enemies cannot have their max health or speed increased through passive abilities. That's a big deal. The game has been getting away from that anyway, but again, characters like Apocalypse, who has built-in max health, and there's other people that give certain classifications of characters, like, again, mutants, for instance, extra max health. That's not happening. So you just got to fight him as you are, and it ain't going to be good. This character can only have their focus reduced by negative effects. All right. This character cannot have their max health increased or have their speed bar field prevented through passive abilities. So Emma's not doing it. Focus isn't going down unless you put, right? Unless you put a defense down on him or something like that. Yes, it has to be defense down or something else. Defense down is the only way to reduce his focus. So they're just making it so characters that have some of these older built-in abilities that we would use to cheese to try to get around guys like this, our go-tos, like our Cosmic Ghost Riders, our Emmas, right? Our Apocalypse with the one punch. Yeah, it's not happening. You got to fight him straight up. Insectoid, devourer. Let's talk about these minions for a minute. They're weird looking. I don't like the way they look. They're weird looking. Speed 116. Traits. They are also villains. Cosmic bio. They're brawlers and they're minions. ISO 8 counterattack for them. They're going to clear barrier on the primary target. Attack that target for damage. Transfer one negative effect from them to the primary target. So they're going to do that every time. When they're called in to assist. Basic quick attack. So this is their normal. Clear the barrier, attack the target for damage, transfer the one negative effect. All right, so at least if you load them up with negative effects, or you were trying to load Annihilus up with negative effects and he passed them on to one of these guys, at least they're not going to give you all of them. They're just going to give you one. Special slam. So they're going to have that right out of the gate when they're summoned. Clear all barrier on a primary target, attack primary target for damage, transfer two negative effects. Oh, well, there we go. Transfer two effects from them to the primary target, chain to two adjacent targets, same amount of damage, transfer two negative effects. Wow. All right. I take it back. So you loaded Annihilus up. If this guy retaliates, he's going to transfer one. But when he uses his special, as he makes his way around his chain attack here, he's jumping all of them, two at a time. Fill speed bar by 15% of a random Annihilus ally. This attack can chain to stealth targets. Woo! This attack, yes, indeed, can chain to stealth targets, and counterattack does not break the chain. So he's going through, dumping all those negative effects. You can't put a guy in the corner and hide him with stealth. That's not going to happen. Fill speed bar by 15%. So again, we got to think about this. As more of those guys get on the board, as your regular, you whittle away his regular force, and he's able to bring more of these guys on the board. When they do this move and they're starting out with it, 15% speed bar, to Annihilus. That can get out of hand if the field is full of these dudes. Basic, cosmic bug. What are we missing here? Basic quick attack. You have 2 basic attacks. On turn, if this must be his passive. On turn, if Annihilus is an ally, gain taunt. Okay. This character cannot have their speed bar field prevented through passive abilities. All right, so they're going to taunt, taking those hits. There's a concept art. They're weird looking. But Annihilus brings a horde of these dudes to the fight. That's his claim to fame. That's part of what he does. He overwhelms you. He's strong in himself. And then he tries to bring this overwhelming force to overrun you. So they're staying true to the character. All right, how are we going to apply this information? How do we unlock the character? What's going on? Prepare your roster. This battle royale will require your roster's heavy hitters and synergy to tackle the waves of enemies. You'll also need the latest gear that's heading your way soon, Gear Tier 21. To enter each Annihilus Dimension mission, you're going to need 5 characters for each mission. So we can't short it and just start working on it with 1 or 2 characters. We need all 5 to enter. Gear Tier 21 is required for all those missions. All right, so they're telling us the rules. This is the rules. Mission rundown. You'll need about 25 total characters. They all need to be Gear Tier 21 to complete Dark Dimension 9. So utilize the latest characters and put on your theory crafting hat to maximize your results. How are they going to do this? Missions 1 and 2, any character on Gear Tier 21. 3 to 5, city, non-mythic, epic, or legendary. So they're taking those out. So we got cities. We have cosmic from missions 6 to 8, global, missions 9 to 11, legendaries or villain epics. So our villain epics right now are mostly the Phoenix Force characters and the zombies, I believe, would be the villain epics, okay, or legendaries. I don't like zombies, so it looks like I'll be going in with my Phoenix Force and somebody else. Well, the next Phoenix Force character might be out by the time I actually get there, or we'll have to see. Mythic or hero epic, Gear Tier 21. There's not a whole lot of hero epics. So again, the thinking is for us normal folk, we're probably waiting for whoever that next hero epic is. Blue Marvel is a hero epic, but he's a long way off from the free-to-play side. So again, this is going to be one of those choke points if we're not spending money. So if we were wondering why it's so tough, right? So they're giving us, they're gating us in certain ways, which is fine. You got to have incentive for people to spend. Blue Marvel right there is going to allow people to go past an area that the free-to-play are not. So again, as a free-to-play player, there's nothing wrong with that, right? We can go more into detail with that later. You can ask questions. I think this is fine. Other people I know are going to have a problem with it, but they're trying to make it so the people that spend have an advantage, that they're actually going to be able to unlock the character. And then 2 days later, just because I saw how they did it doesn't mean that I, as a free-to-play player, can unlock the character. There needs to be some other barrier to entry, and it looks like that's the way they chose to do it. After that final mission, any trait, Gear Tier 21. Interesting. To the victors goes the spoils. If you can take down Annihilus, you'll earn yourself a mythic ally who can change the tide of modern battles, along with gear and resources to fortify your roster. On top of key resources, here's what you earn. First run rewards, 5 yellow stars for Annihilus and the character shards to match, 2 red stars. Okay. Makes sense. Timed run. So you went through the first time. Now we got the timed run. Character shards to rank up Annihilus to 7 yellow stars and then 4 reds for Annihilus. Solid. We got a baby version. We got a grown-up version. Okay. What else? The Annihilus Saga. How's this going to work? Well, leading up to Dark Dimension 9, there will be this Annihilus Saga, which features 3 chapters, 1 for each chapter legend. The Quasar chapter recaps his chapter, while the Blastar and Thunderstrike chapter each continue the exciting adventure that leads up to Dark Dimension 9. Here's how those sagas will work. There are 7 nodes each. There's a boss at the end of each difficulty. The Quasar, if you play it on easy, no requirements. Hard, you need chapter 1 Harbinger. And that kind of repeats. Blastar, easy, no requirements. Hard, Chapter 2 Conquerors. Thunderstrike, easy, no requirements. Hard, Chapter 3 Stormbound. So I think this is an interesting setup, if I'm understanding correctly, even if you're just coming back to the game. You just came back to the game and you want to get in on this. Quasar especially is really good legendary. There's no requirements. You can start to maybe get him powered up. So I like this. If this is how it's going to be, then they're making it easy to unlock the characters no matter when you join the game. Does that make sense? You have to have some power. You got to have some characters that can do something, right? There's no requirements to who those are, but you will always, it looks like, if I'm understanding correctly, be able to get some version of the character. And then if you need a stronger version, you're going to have to go back and build those older teams. I don't like that so much, but they've shown that they will be flexible with some of that stuff and change it in the past. So in the future, maybe it changes. But again, you should be going towards whoever the newer legendary characters are anyway. The sagas are optional. You don't got to do them, right? You just want to go after Annihilus, you can. You don't got to do them. If you do it, you get a costume. There's character shards for, again, Blastar, Quasar, Thunderstrike to 7 yellow stars. I think that's fair and that's great. It's always going to be there. Red stars for those same characters. I'm assuming that's going to be the easy and the hard, but we'll have to see it when it starts. Epilogue, max out Annihilus's red stars. So after you beat him and unlock him, then there's an epilogue. After unlocking Annihilus, you gain access to the Annihilus Saga epilogue. So this is after. Unleash Annihilus to max out his red stars and witness the true power of Annihilus in battle. 5 nodes, nodes 1 and 2, you get Annihilus at 5. You need to have Annihilus at 5 yellows. For the rest of it, 3, 4, and 5, he's got to be at 7 yellows. So that means the first time you finish Dark Dimension, you can start on this. And then the second time, you can finish it. You get those extra red stars, though. You're going to need node 3. So you have to have completed the timed run of Dark Dimension to finish off his reds. Again, I think this is great. Right out of the gate, you can get a 7-star dude. Here's the path to get his red stars. So then how do we go up from there? How do we get these diamonds? Winner celebration. Be one of the first to unlock Annihilus, and you can add diamonds to your immortal tyrant. This year, the first 100 commanders to complete Dark Dimension 9 will enjoy the time exclusive rewards of diamonds for Annihilus, the guy who finishes first. Oh man, dude, it is on. The first finisher, 5 diamonds. 5 diamonds. You're gonna max the dude out. The first I'm not a spender. I don't know. I'd like to hear what the spender community thinks about this. Like, I think this is dope. They're putting it on the board. First guy to win get the strongest version of the character, period. 2nd through 5th, 5 diamonds. 4 diamonds. So you got OG Diamond Dave out there. You got Johnny out there. Man, woo. I want to know if any of you guys are watching this video, I'd really like to hear your feedback. I really like to hear it. Is this something that interests you? 6 through 10, 3 diamonds, 11 to 100, 1 diamond. Top 100 all get an extra strong version of the character the rest of us can't get. I think that's fair, right? I'm not going to get it, but you got to have something for people to push for. There it is. The first finisher, number 1 cat, also gets to choose 100 character shard gift that all players will receive to celebrate. So we'll see what that is. Usually they're kind of stingy on that a little bit, but maybe the way the game is moving, there might be a little bit more lenient, because the difference between a free to play and different spending levels has changed. So maybe they'll be more interested in giving away some shards. Dark Dimension 9 Planner. Head to the website next week. All right, so next week, to use the Dark Dimension 9 Planner. Organize your teams by the required traits to see who has the required Gear Tier 21 pieces and what pieces you need to collect. So usually in the past, you can kind of gauge it 2 ways, like who am I leaning towards, what type of stuff am I looking for. You can flag that stuff so then it stays flagged in the game and you know which ones when you see them to grab. The dimension opens soon. begin prepping your roster because Dark Dimension 9 opens on April 15th. Where are we? We are in the end. Let's see here. We are ending the month of March while we're making this video. So that's approximately 2 weeks about from now. And now people know what the requirements are. They know what to build. Now people can plan. Now people can strategize. And when this video goes live, the race has begun. Man, it's an interesting time for people. Super strong character. The dimension opens soon. We already said that. Subject to change, right? That's the end. I don't have anything else. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm not even going to be able to get the character, but the dude's crazy. He's broken. When we don't have him, we're not going to win. So us guys who don't have him, we're going to get pushed down. That forces people to think, though. That forces people to think and come up with counters, and that happens. Newer characters will come out as we get into the Age of Fear. It will get easier to unlock him because newer characters will be better. It will get easier to fight against him because newer characters will be better, and that's just how the cycle goes. But he's going to be very, very strong. Very strong. I want to know what you think about this character. You think he's broken? Is he overly done? Right? Is this type of a thing, this race, an incentive? Now, I know those of us who are free to play, we won't be racing in this fashion, but would you be interested in smaller versions of things like this in the game? For example, if they had a danger room, right? Danger room, the competition can be a little bit more narrow. Would you be interested in some type of a race for that? What about a smaller pocket dimension? Would you be interested in some type of a race for that? Right? I'm curious to know what you think. It's going to be legit, man. Make sure you check these videos out right here. I appreciate y'all. Peace.